Hello everyone, thanks for joining in and welcome to FemiDlive. This channel of course is for Nigerian political talk and all details of Nigerian politics. What a time we find ourselves. I'm Femi D. Amelin. Well, the tales of politics in Nigeria are taking on new turns, almost like an episode you would find from the Game of Thrones. With every episode of the Game of Thrones, the very popular show, with no throne sitting in place, with 1,000 swords in that same throne, one would find the political stories in Nigeria pretty much like that same scenario. Whether you're looking at characters that have gone past through the government, or you're looking at the characters modify the government of the day, or the characters that want to enter into the government of the day, all one way or the other are fighting for throne, fighting for representation, fighting for meaning, and more importantly, fighting for acceptance from you. Let's take a look at what could possibly happen this very week. So in the Game of Thrones episode for this week, as I would like to reiterate, one of the things that would happen is, will Saraki, the Senate President, will he put forward some notice of impeachment for Senator Akpabio, who resigned his position as the Senate's minority leader and of course defected to the People's Democratic Party to the APC. Don't get thrown there. I'm also in trouble sometimes keeping up with where they are. By the way, what that means is Senator Akpabio went in the opposite direction of where Senator Saraki did go just about 7 days before. What defections has been in the trend in the land. And one would wonder about if there's a prize for your former role or the position in which you were certified for where you do defect. Like Senator Saraki, some are saying that it is time that the senators in the All Progressive Congress, whether they're the Reformed All Progressive Congress senators or the All Progressive Congress senators, should one way or the other look forward to getting him impeached, thereby losing his position as the Senate President. Some say that's not a game you want to play with, because some part of the Reformed All Progressive Congress senators are partly or in part or share some level of passion with the People's Democratic Party senators. After all, before the Senate President did emerge way back, one would recall that it was against the proposed party movement that he did emerge as the Senate President, intelligently outmaneuvering the party that really brought him to that position or brought him forward as a senator. Let's go forward now. So tomorrow and this week we would expect possibly a letter of impeachment being served to Senator Akpabio, or the other way around, the notice of impeachment to Senate President. Or wait, none of the two would get some level of impeachment. Rather, the focus on the election budget will be in the center stage. But then, even that is not big enough to be part of the news. As the chairman of the All Progressive Congress, Adams Oshomole, continues to fume as regards what is really upsetting him about the defection or the move of the Senate President, Senator Saraki, across board. He says he has grievance, that he has ambition, he has a list of things he really wants done, and some of those things, like his ambition, cannot be negotiated with. So you have a situation where the chairman of the All Progressive Congress is saying, I'm here to put my foot right hard in the rock. Some say not in the rock, just in sinking sand, where it looks like the number of senators left, for example, in the Senate House, in the Senate, even though it appears to be APC in number, but then in majority in number, about 53 of them, while the inclined opposition, permit me to use the word opposition because they are all brands of opposition now in the Senate, may be choosing to go differently. So if you do rattle the both just a little bit, wait, that's an old saying. Let me come down to the way we say it in Nigeria. This table that you're shaking, if you shake it long enough, you would find out where the senators truly belong, whether on this side of the table or on the other side of the table. Quietly, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Yakubu Dogara, has not made any move. He hasn't even made the move to say, I am moving across, I have grievance or I do not have grievance. However, another senator of interest will have to be Kwankwaso, who, by the way, his defection had as many as thousands ready as to accept his move from the All Progressive Congress to the People's Democratic Party. Quite a number, similar to the same number that also cheered on the 8th of August as Akpabio moved from the, where is he going to now? From the PDP to the APC. So you have that. So you can really get confused that the numbers would always show up to wherever these guys move. Whether they are moving their throne from one village to the other, whether you're going from Taruni Market somewhere in Kano and you choose to go to Ijebu Ode in Oshogbo and say, oh fine, in Osun State, to say fine, this is where I want to find my representation. But then, tactically, there are other people whose interests and movements have been waiting to see whether that would happen. People like Senator Shehu Sani, who they say the Kaduna faction has not really agreed to whether he would be representing them, or wait, even maybe be a challenger to the current governor, Nasir El-Rufai, who, by the way, they don't see eye to eye and they don't agree possibly on anything at all. So you wonder if the likes of Shehu Sani will make a move or will stay put, or will others, House of Representative guys, also take the liberty, the fact that the senators are converging, the House of Reps also possibly need to converge. Will they use the opportunity of this week to make some major movement? Or will we have a stalemate? Will they even be able to sit in the same room to discuss who gets to move or not? But let's go to the silent guys, the people who are passively silent. And when I say passively silent, their comment is not generating some level of electricity. They're not shaking the table hard enough. You know, there's a difference between when you go to a party in Nigeria and there's pounded jam on the table, yeah, and there's a foriro, there's ewedu and the likes of that. And somebody says, be careful, don't walk and push this table because the wash and bowl is right there on the table. You don't want the water of the wash and bowl to pour into your soup. But who dares try that when you have Nigerian jollof on the table? If you push a table with Nigerian jollof, you would find out that majority of the people sitting on that table have Nigerian jollof on their table. So you've consistently pushed off a reality of the feeding mechanism of where most people want to eat from. It's similar to politics. What sudden move will this week bring? Would it push the guys who have jollof rice on their table, or the people with pounded yam with eforiro and the likes of that? Or would it push their table? Would it force out a level of reaction from them? Obasanjo has been clever in his speaking in recent times. Of course, the nationalist and the foremost Nigerian leader, he practically condemned the move on NAS. I talked about national development recently in Ibadan, and he said clearly that the government at this time is not getting it right with what they want from the National Assembly, and they are pushing the lines of democracy far beyond the mark that it's bound to be set in Nigeria. But that's not even thrilling as much as the fact that the coalition that the former president Olusegun also did set up is finding some measure of breakaway. Some people are saying, oh, we joined this party, or we joined this coalition because we thought this coalition should serve the interest of this. But so far so good. Some members of this coalition are joining another coalition which we do not subscribe to. So Babatu is experiencing a measure of defection among the people he has put together into his own cell. Let's for a moment be silent. These silent. Oh, no, long enough. I can't be silent long enough. But then he brings forward the question about what happens when you're politically silent. Okay, for example, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who, by the way, let me get my glasses so that I can see you people properly. Yes. Okay. So, for example, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is the former Lagos State governor, tactically silent. In recent times, he commended the fact that the National Party chairman, Adams Oshomole, was doing the best he can. He was speaking, by the way, at the defection Congress, should I say defection Congress, the defection gathering of Akpabio in Akwa Ibom State, and talked about the fact that the PDP, he called them some other name that is very censored. I try to do a very clean show. But it brings forward the fact that silence is a tool. Even when you are a king and you're silent, it is dangerous for the people not to know the mind of the king. It is dangerous for the people when the mouth of the king would not close. It is dangerous for the people when the king is active in almost any place available, in the village square and the likes of it. I wonder, in the Game of Thrones now, where, how, and where are some of these politicians enthroned in your thinking now? Are you following the trends? Are you also changing your sentiments as they move? Well, thank you for listening to FemiDlive. I do hope you had a good time listening to the Game of Trends with Kwankwaso, Obasanjo, Tinubu, and the likes of them all mentioned in. Let me know what you think about where we find ourselves at this point in Nigeria. I look forward to a very interesting week of deliberation as what would happen in politics. Maybe when I'm back tomorrow, I'll be all excited about the new political drama and the tales of politics. Please do remember to subscribe to this channel. The subscription button is just below here. Click subscribe, add your comments, like this video. Let me sincerely know what you think about the Game of Thrones happening in the Nigerian scene. I'll be back on my train tomorrow. I'm FemiD.